Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Itzo. Today maybe with the last friendly match of this year's WTCOC preseason. It's Spain versus Ukraine. Some of these players seem to have quite the history here. Loku Elo, for example, versus Pavel Brin. And mind you, the tool only shows the last 10 games, so they might have played even more. Right now, I'd consider the Ukrainians the favorite here. If I would need to bet, I'd say 4-1 in their favor. Especially this one here should be easy win for Adria, but as you can see up top, he has lost games versus Master Destroyer, so we'll see about that. I'm gonna focus on Zocanero versus Fan LXN, at least first that is. So let's check if they have already started playing. They haven't, but others have. So let's open one game on the tiny screen. So Ziamat with a perfect opening. And Tanya, Yu and Rafa are starting as well. And Zocanero and Fan Alex and 2. So let's check this game. And then I hope the others are starting soon. But for now, let's just focus on this one in the middle. Standard opening moves so far. Oh, I just need to change the colors. So all Spaniards in yellow. Two monasteries for blue are looking quite nice here. Early lead. But yellow with the more points on the board, getting the small caps in, and quite a lot of them. But blue snatched the field, which will only grow. So blue's road might become a problem. For now, there are still all 3 daggers in the deck. So nothing to worry about, at least not that much. Blue obstructs yellow city up top, but yellow just gets another city cap to continue with the city. And opens a new one, of course. And the next city cap for yellow, well, that's nice if you get all the caps to counter the opponent's monasteries. But overall the score is more or less equal due to this config over here. But yellow gets the perfect tile to limit blue's city here. Now a curve over here, and you would have limited 3 of blue's meeples to the same left-handed dagger. And that's why Yellow goes here, just wanting to restrict the square here. This one I don't like. If you go this route, put the cap up top. So you have another cap on your side of the field, just in case this here doesn't get connected. And this one also protects this square, so you kill one attacking option and take out, I think, half the blocking tiles, if not more. No, way more actually. Can't use daggers, straights, crossroads, and a few city plus road tiles, starting tiles. So now you might even have to take the road monastery there. And that's exactly what yellow does. And of course, meeple this. It will be worth 6, 7, maybe 8 points in the end. Maybe it gets closed even. No, it won't get closed because both road monasteries are gone. And blue can protect now. Yep. And there are still 3 big city tiles left to close this city. So yellow might want to try the double Dorito over here to kill this, or at least put a straight there to limit this to a 50-50. But definitely not use a straight, because that would be an easy defense for blue. Yeah, that's okay. Better as putting the straight on the, better than putting the straight on the left side, but still not an ideal blocking option. There are just too many defending tiles out there. So blue now gets the dagger and closes the city on the one side at least. And they get big city tile immediately. And I don't see an easy way for yellow to get back into the game. Closing this city here is a must. And then taking over the field might be in the same category. Yep, nice move by blue. Just limiting the best attacking option on the field. And if this doesn't connect, well, it's at least a 3 to 9 point farmer in the end. So now yellow might have to attack over here. This one doesn't work because all 3 right-handed daggers are gone, so this square is actually dead. Up top, all options are blocked as well. So blue might even try to kill this square just to prevent any field attack. The 30 points ahead. there's not much else you really need to do here. For a few points here or there and protect the field. Of course, there are still the 2 starting tiles to close Yellow City on the left side. And there should be 1 dagger as well. All 3 roses are gone. Else there's the last Rotorito plus another city cap. Maybe the last vanilla, for example. Blue with 2 meeples in hand could even add a 3rd farmer, but I think that's not necessary. Yeah, I'm curious which move Fan Alex N will pick. Oh, if one of the other 4 games aren't perfectly centered, please say so. I really try to focus on the middle game this time. And this here actually is quite nice because there are only the last dagger and last road Dorito available to close the road, and yellow would need, or rather likely, use both of them on their city, because they need to close this if they want to have a chance here. Hey Sergey. Yep. And they get to close their city, snatch the 6-point field. Now 2 pieces over here to close the city, the road, and maybe snatch a 4-point city or create an 8-point or possible 8-point city, because the last Dorito features a shield. So there are still chances for yellow. Blue takes a 6-point, possibly 9-point field. As I said earlier, no connection available over here. All right-handed daggers are gone. And Socanero has to attack here. And then try to find other scoring options as well. Because even if the field would be tied, the road here in the middle by blue scores 8 points plus 3 over here, 11, 15, 21 plus the 11 on the scoreboard, so 32 points, minus 13 for yellow's monastery, 19 minus the 9 here, so even the tied main field, blue would be ahead by 10 points. And now that they get to close their city up top, and this only adds to the lead. So even if yellow snatches this here, which they actually must, this doesn't really help them. They are just too far behind. So going over here now, if your blue would be the total kill, because then yellow would need a crossroad to even attack the field, but the crossroad is the last one. So this here either kills this or this square and therefore protects the field more or less completely. Don't really see, maybe there's an option to attack over here, but that's just hoping. Yeah, this works as well, of course, but not really necessary. So blue might now just take points. A prevention of yellow city closure is okay as well, of course. This here, even if it doesn't matter, putting it on the road would have, no, it wouldn't have scored more points. Oh, it would, because this here 4 points, 8 points, but here you would have scored 6 and had a meeple in hand for your last turn. And could have used that to score 4 up top, for example. Yeah, slight imprecision, but it doesn't matter. This game was lost. So 28 points in the end. Rather big difference. And the main problem was this one here. And this move might have been the turning point in this game. If you put it this way, you have to attack. Else cap up top, but even better, I think even better, just don't place it there. Just keep this square to block, maybe totally block if you get both the city of your opponent, and then write your meeple advantage. So let's check if they have already started their second game, and it looks like this is the case. Yep, missed just their first 2 moves, and these moves I don't really get. There's a curve here. The curve plus another curve is a perfectly half of 4-point loop road, so why not take this? I don't get it. Quadruple city is discarded. Slightly bad news for fan LXN because his starting player advantage is gone. But if they play like they did in the first game, even though the Spaniard got more or less all the city caps in the beginning, their Ukrainian ran away with the game in the end. Now, again, I have to switch the colors. I hope you don't mind. Pavel Brin won his first game as well with 25 points, so not a close score. And at least Ziamat won 1 game for Spain versus Samuelson. And here now Ukraine with the first monastery as well. Both scoring city points. And that's the same MO as last time. Yellow getting caps, blue taking the field. Quite an early field, but one with nice prospects. 6 points at least, and this here will be close sometime. Only question is whether yellow will get a Dorito or someone might attack this and then need a big city tile. So Adria won their first game versus Master Destroyer. So technically the Ukrainians leading this by 3-1. Tanya Yu still deliberating on her penultimate move, I think. Yep. Again, let me quickly switch all Spaniards to yellow. Blue getting another monastery, yellow preventing blue from easily closing a 10-point city. And blue even liberates one of their monasteries because they had no meeple in hand, although this added 2 points to yellow's road and allowed yellow to close this now. But with this at the bottom, it's rather unlikely for blue to get any meeple but the monastery once and the one on the right side back soon. So the curve more or less was necessary. Can't survive in this game with no meeples in hand that early. And if blue wants to close this up top, they'd either need a starting tile soon and they get one, but don't use it over here, or hope for the dagger. So they actually secure their field, but of course there's still this attacking option. Still 7 curves out there. So sometime soon I'd expect a yellow farmer over here. And 2020 Rafa won their game versus Tanya Yu in 99-63. So 2-3 is the overall score after the first 5 games. Score here is more or less tight on the scoreboard, but blue's features see them definitely ahead by roughly 10 to 15 points. But if yellow can close this here and attack the field or successfully attack the field as sketched earlier. This will be a tight game rather soon, or this could be a tight game rather soon. So that's why blue limits yellow city here to Dorito, because all 3 horses are gone. And there are still 2 road Doritos available, but blue likely will try to kill this square. But now they have to decide whether they'd attack this or connect on the right side, knowing full well that they'd create another attacking option, but one that they are more likely to take, because no matter which tile you'd use over here, this would automatically create problems for yellow. So much so that if yellow were to get an extender, they might even just put it here and not meeple it, then hoping to get the last cow or another extender to connect here. But all this is moot because blue just limited this field, and there are 2 daggers of this kind already in place, so there's just 1 piece here to liberate yellow's city meeple. In the meantime, yellow just took this 6-point monastery spot, and wow, why do you do this? Preventing the points of blue, yeah, nice, of course, but is killing this city worth it? Well, that's the beauty of putting the rows here. Either you get the cap or it forces your opponent to make a move like this, and that's exactly the punishment they deserve. They get the tile they could have used over here if they would have been a little bit patient. Well, tough luck, or not luck in this case. I hate vertical games like the one on the left, in the left top corner. And I think they had a vertical game in their first one as well. So now Socanero is in deep trouble, to omit stronger words. Best chance would be to get this one or the road meeple back in hand. But then this attacking option gets worse. So you might have to concede the 9-point field and hope that this one here doesn't get closed. And you desperately need a city cap here. There's still the 1 dagger, but need that on the right side. There's no rows and 2 starting tiles to close this. Else, of course, the last road Dorito and then any other city cap. But this config, yep, could have been, depends on how you look at it, the turning point. So from my point of view, this was just too impatient. Blue now going for the kill. But yellow, the tricky decision. Do you even defend this? Or do you take the meeple back? And yellow opts to get the meeple back. But this kills, of course, this one here. I guess blue will go for this. They don't. They limit this here and take a nice field. That's actually neat, because if yellow gets a starting tile to liberate their monastery, they would take these 4 points, but also add 3 points to blue's field on the same move. Blue might now just connect or liberate their monastery, and given there aren't that many curves left, I'd rather would consider this unlikely, because this would limit their monastery a tad too much. There's only 2 curves left. I don't see them doing this right now. Else there's just taking 3 points on the left side. And there would be another nice move as well over here, and then hoping to get a starting tile to extend the field. Yeah, and because they didn't kill yellow's meeple, although they had 2 chances with the vanilla and the road monastery, yellow gets this and meeples the field, which also is a bit antsy because this square is really iffy. But now that they can connect here, this works out for them. But there aren't many straights left. I think just one. Let's click out. Yep. So just one straight left to connect here. Both road monasteries are gone, of course. Oh, I missed to mention, some of you had asked me about the ELO ratings finder. I've published this one. The link is in the description. So blue takes another 4 points for city. Still has an off chance to close this one up top. I think there should still be the road Dorito remaining. And maybe another Dorito as well. Yep, so 1 road Dorito and 1 regular Dorito, plus a city cap. And if you can execute this, it would be game over. So yellow just needs to decide whether to block this way or with the road part turned into blue city. And considering there's still a cow left, turning the road part into the city might be the better move, or actually is the better move. The blue doesn't get to defend, just needs to hope, but to no avail. Yellow should now kill this. They miss out on these 2 points, so not really that big of a problem. Let's assess the score here. Yellow has 17 points plus 12 for the fields. That's 29. Scoreboard is tied. Blue has 6 for the field, 23. 8, so 15, 6, 9, and the 9 over here. So actually it's tied all the way. Pavel Bryn wins their second game. So 1-0 lead for the Ukrainians on the match scoreboard. And with one meeple in hand, the question for for blue is, do you need to do something about this city? Is there still a chance for yellow to close this one? The roses were gone. This is the last starting tile. The third one was drawn by blue up top. So the question is there still a dagger out there? And there isn't, because yellow's was the third one. So there's should still be the Rotorito available. And yellow still has 2 moves. So what are the other 2 pieces out there? Guess we'll see at least one of them. Samuelson wins the second game versus Yamat, so these 2 will play a decider right now. And of course another dagger, but that doesn't help yellow. And actually, no matter the permutation, this city was unclosable after blue got this one here. Because if yellow were to continue this with the Rotorito, blue either would put the cow here or just get the dagger. But I don't really get why blue didn't meeple the field. Oh, I get why they didn't, because one is connected to the yellow meeple. So why did they put this here? Adds 3 points to yellow, so yellow should now be ahead by 3 points. They'll get the 1 point on their last turn, so 4 points, and now blue will only score 3 and lose with 1 point. Instead, they could have scored 4 points on the right side, which would have been their win. So maybe they did the same mistake I did. Thought they could take this field and didn't notice this slightly yellow little bugger on the left side. That actually would be quite the shame. So let's see if my score was correct. And it was. So Zoccanero wins this one by 1 point. And these 2 need a decider as well. Let's take a quick peek at the other games. So Tanya, you versus Rafa looks as if it were... Oh, that's actually quite interesting. So a blue field here, a yellow field there. Large yellow ruin, 2 monasteries for yellow. So I think yellow should win this one. Okay, let's see if these two in the middle, so Socanero and Fan Alexander, have already started their third game, and they haven't. So then let's peek on the top right again. The fields are +6 for blue, +8, +4 for yellow, 12 yellow. Yeah, 19 and a scoreboard lead of 4, so yellow is roughly ahead by 20 points. So this will be a win for Spain. And the equalizer on the match scoreboard. And now we have a decider here. And yellow with a nice start. If they can close this one here, this would look really good for them. And actually, it wasn't yellow, it was blue, because the Ukrainians play blue here. Adria wins their second game versus Master Destroyer as well. So the Ukrainians only need to win one of the deciders to take a friendly match. And then they might get a deserved rest. Just cool their nerves and hope to play a successful WTCOC for once. Having more or less a team of only masters and missing the medal every year, it must suck. Now the city is a bit tricky. Blue goes for it. Yellow can't attack. Tries to indirectly attack or block blue city because 2 starting tiles are gone. So any field piece on left side, or for that matter, if you'd rather take it, play it safe. Nope, not this way. It still leaves the splitter option. Rather put it here. Have this or this side to extend your side of the ruin and then kill this. Leave blue in the dirt for 6 points and score a nice ruin yourself. But this here ist just adding volatility. One dagger is gone, so if blue gets the splitter and decides to use it there, the imminent attack by yellow would only lead to a 75-25. But good news for yellow, they get at least one splitter. But blue profits as well, taking the empty city cap with the defender. And in the end, Rafa won 88-81 versus Tanya Yu. So first match point or match score for Spain. And now I might even switch to another layout. I think this should work. So blue, guess this was blue. Haven't followed. Either way, this square is limited. Only splitter, cow, and field Doritos would fit there. So actually, with another splitter going over here, would be interesting to say the least, but blue opts to kill this, just taking the ruin for at least a 7-point mini battle win. Instead, they opt to take the field here because they have 2 meeples on this road and really didn't appreciate the blocking option from the top. Yellow, no, this is blue. Blue gets the second splitter, and now it really gets interesting. Do you go for the high volatility move over here? Of course, the connection is more or less inevitable with all 4 cows still remaining, but a block with a curve or an attack the vanilla or another Dorito might be interesting. So please, please, please do this move. Yeah, come on. Shame. What a shame. It might be better this way, of course. But still, it would have been really interesting. But last meeple in hand, always tricky. Even if there are quite a few of your meeples easy to liberate. So a curve by blue would be placed this way, or would be nice this way, because then they would limit the attacking options for yellow quite severely. But they don't go for this, man. Yellow would have needed the dagger to limit this square to the dagger. because both road monasteries are gone and 3 vanillas are gone as well. Wasted chance here. Yep, now it's dead. 9 points for blue. And considering yellow is ahead by a lot on the scoreboard, this will be an uphill battle for blue. So actually, the indirect defense of this square might have even been a must. These 11 extra points, if they would have successfully closed this city, yeah, would have turned, or at least could have helped them try to turn this game around. But now I don't really see a way for them to climb back into this game. This field might get larger, and yellow helps with this. Hopes to attack this, of course. Blue, yeah, has to block their own city to defend it, because a cow or a field Dorito over here would have killed this city. But now it's dead anyway. And 13 points behind. Yeah, they need a crossroad, one of the last 2 remaining to liberate the road meeples on the right side to get more ammunition to attack the field in the middle. But yellow gets the penultimate crossroad. So there's only the last rows left. Looks like a lost cause for blue here. So let's peek on the left side, Zermatt versus Samuelson. The monasteries are killed because there's no starting tile left. Yellow even added the Dorito over here at 1 point. There's still 1 cow left to close yellow's city in the middle, which would be pretty nice for them, especially if they would have hit this before blue were able to connect this. Right now blue owns this 12-point farm, and with only 1 meeple in hand, it's quite tricky for yellow to counter this. There's no crossroads, so a ninja attack isn't possible. This here is closed as well. Yellow city could still be... no, couldn't, because in addition to the starting tiles gone, the 3 roses are gone as well. So yellow creates an attacking option here. And blue now thinks about closing this up immediately. So yellow's monasteries score 15 points. Their city, it's still alive. Was 8 points right now. Let's check. The cow has no shield. So in the end, it would score 20 points for plus 12, which would be nice. But for now, 8 points plus the 15 for their monasteries plus 2 on the scoreboard are 25 points, and blue has 5 here, 12 or 17, 19. Oh, I totally missed that this one isn't connected to the main field. So actually the 12-point field is tied. Let's check if there's still a vanilla remaining. I don't think so. So this square is dead. And what about the dagger or this square? There is one. And no second one? Really? This late in the game? These are other daggers. Did I miscount? No. Yellow just got both of them. That's pretty tough for blue. Because they would have needed this over here. Scoring 4 points, getting a meeple back, also winning the field. And Zermatt gets to take their city in the end. And should win the game this way. What a draw. Getting these two and the piece for your city. Not sure if they really think whether they could score more points elsewhere. Although 9 points. So Zermatt wins this with 23 points actually. Even the dagger wouldn't have closed that gap. Oh, am I wrong? No. 4 points for the city, 3 points for another city on the field, 12 points for the field, 19 points. Yep. So let's check back to fan LXN, and it's looking more or less the same. Even though they snatched the field in the middle, it's worth only 9 points for now, and it's rather unlikely to expand at this stage of the game. Yep, tough one here. Still this one. This would have been so nice. And of course, early monasteries for your opponent, always bad. So in my book, this is a slight upset, but only a slight one. Because it's still Carcassonne, and no matter how many masters you have on your roster, I guess 80-90% of the players competing in this year's WTCOC are able to be the master in a duel, not just in a game. So once this is over, I think really will be the last friendly match. I just checked Carcassonne GG. There are no other matches scheduled, and then there are the Easter holidays in at least many countries. So I don't expect anything to take place in the next days. And then on Monday, it's the official tournament start. And we might even see games scheduled for the early days of next week. I might stream or maybe upload a video kind of previewing the WTCOC groups. I'm not really sure about this right now. Maybe I just split these and then have longer intros for the first matches of each group, but maybe check back on Saturday if something is scheduled for Sunday. Else there really isn't much for me to talk about. Thanks for tuning in. Have a nice night, good evening, good day, morning, wherever you are. I'll see you, I guess, next week. Bye bye.